Hey everybody, it's Ad the Red and welcome back to Shining Song Starnova. With the very somber piano music. Listen to the sweet, dulcet tones. The gentle notes. Oh, okay, anyway. Yeah, so the end of the day arrived. I believe last we left off, it was something along the lines of like producer was planning on his biggest something yet. I think it was right after, what was her name from Quasar? Cowrie. Her father was arrested or something, and that was all over the news, and I don't know. The end of the day arrived. After reluctantly deciding to hold a practice session, lest the day end up a total loss, the girls filed out of the office eager for the weekend. It's finally over. Hey, by the way, Nema's been awful quiet today. Eh? That's true, huh? Something the matter? No. Perhaps I'm just fatigued after a long day. Well, be sure to take good care of yourself. Oh, Julie being a good friend. Managing your stress is important, eh? Yeah, we hate to see a certain thing happen again. It'd be a big problem, eh? Huh, maybe Nema has a nervous breakdown. That'll mean I'll be the center next. Assuming we survive the fallout. Oi, quit bad-mouthing Nemu. Eh? Barely a year in and already playing favorites your talents. What a letdown. Well, never mind then, you're not really playing the good friend, are you? Well, Natan and I'll leave you two lovebirds. See ya. See ya, Pikun. Bye, Natan. It appears others have finally left. Shall we pick up when we left off last time? Don't. Actually, I've got some more work to do. Producer's son is such a cold man. Sniffle. Besides, I don't want your mother to start asking questions about what you're doing on your off hours or who. She might be turning a blind eye right now, but that'll go out the window if she suspects I'm taking advantage of you. Or suspects you're taking advantage of me. You never know. You have a knife. Yes, producer's son. Nema shall behave herself and go back home. Atta girl. Now relax and come back refreshed. Fine. He says he doesn't want to upset my mother, and it looks like she's not even here. Whoa! This is an interesting angle. Okay. Nema let it a long sign sprawled out on the sofa. I mean, this is a very interesting angle. Teresa-san, why do you always give poor Nema the cold shoulder? You say it's all for the sake of Starnova, but you can't get too close. But is that really such a problem? A shining idol career, capped by a sweet graduation to the warm arms of your producer. My, where's the sin in that? I'm not the first girl in this field to have played that act out. Producer-san, the truth is, I've wanted to live my real mother's life ever since I found out the truth. I'm sorry now? Haruna-san. I'll never be rid of her ghost. Are you trying to get back at your stepmom by becoming your birth mother? Becoming an idol and then having a kid and what? I know what you did. Nema knows everything. Or did your stepmom have your mother You thought you finally defeated her, and here I am, your worst enemy. Or are you just completely off your rocker? She's back up from the grave to take you in for your crimes. Somewhere in her subconscious, her fury had bubbled since that day. Day by day it had grown until it became a malignant tumor. The sound of the elevator dinging knocked her back to her senses. The other retreated back into the other, Jesus, now it has a name or title. Retreated back into the black recesses of her mind like a demon not yet powerful enough to manifest itself in the light. She said it for me. She straightened out her dress and stood from the sofa, looking to see who may have gotten off the elevator. Nobody. Just as she was to turn back, she heard a distant laugh. Huh? What was that? She quietly crept to a walled-off private office built into the side of the main area. As soon as she saw who was present at the window, she hid herself. Oh, that man again. What could he be doing here? And cow... Huh. Okay. That man again. What could he be doing here? Nothing good. And Kaori-chan too? A far cry from the teary-eyed girl Nemu saw on the news earlier that morning, Kaori seemed to be laughing along with a balding executive who was busily trying to impress Kamajo. Was the vulnerable girl on display earlier just an act? After all, Nemu knew the best of all people how idols could have two completely different personalities in public and in private, and sometimes in the same place. In any matter, what were the two of them doing here in Haruna's office? Then this must mean that Haruna wasn't just something suspicious behind her back. Oh no, shit. The group seemed to finish their discussion and turned back to the office. Nemu quickly withdrew and hid herself behind the sofa. She sighed in relief and the elevator dinged again and the three of them left the floor. What's going on? Nothing good. Is Haruna-san really up to something? She felt something within her jerk it in its sleep, threatening to wake from its slumber. It had just become more powerful. Okay, Cthulhu in his deathless slumber and deep in Relia. And yet she wasn't afraid. Rather, it filled her with reassurance. All she would have to do is close her eyes for a bit and let it do its thing. And when she woke back up, everything would be alright again. No. If that's how you want to play it, Haruna-san, then I won't go down so easy like my mother either. Okay, this is gonna be the one that drives me insane in a completely different way. With Mika, it was oftentimes too adorable. This time it's gonna be like just woo crazy. Tuesday, Nemu and I were scheduled to speak with Colonel Tanaka. I waited in front of the office until Nemu arrived in the same black dress she wore for the KP Ling shoot. My apologies for my tardy appearance, but no apologies for your appearance in general because no need. Hope you weren't waiting for too long. No, you're actually on time. Hey, I know that dress. Teehee. Producer-san seemed rather partial to it, so I took the liberty of purchasing one myself. KP Ling can consider a special product endorsement. As expected of our ojou-sama, eh? Oh, Producer-san. With that, we got into a cab and headed for the high-end club where we'd be meeting our potential client. I want this backdrop. We arrived at the location. Quite a few men in expensive-looking suits lined this place, surrounded by an equal number of skimpily dressed women bearing smiles artificial as their chests. This thing turned into an actual noir novel or something. Of course, not even these high-end hostesses could compare to a top idol. Virtually every male eye turned as Nemo strode to the bar to our table. Several of the hostesses clicked their tongues, visibly jealous of the attention she was getting. I took a seat after Nemo, purposefully putting her next to Colonel Tanaka so that he could give her a good look. While I wasn't sure what to expect, he didn't particularly come off as a military man. In fact, he didn't look much different from any of the other middle-aged male executives I usually dealt with. Not quite the Sergeant Hard Rock image you'd envision from someone in the military. I guess overseeing the PR department was more of a desk job anyway, so I wasn't too surprised. Kadama's contact appeared to have already lubricated our target with a strategic dose of alcohol. Lubricate is... okay, moving on. He gave the appropriate introductions, beginning the discussion. Well, now time to get to work. Ellipses. I laughed along with Tanaka, building up a rapport. What really has happened to the men of this country? Here now they're cooped up in the room watching cartoon girls all day and night. Makes my job all the more difficult, rousing the herbivore men of this country. I understand what you're saying, but as the saying goes, if you can't beat them, one must join them. One really needs to put a pair of breasts in front of a man to get and chase them through hell and high water. It's like that since Adam laid eyes upon Eve. It's merely that the medium has changed, Tanaka-san. Our fathers and grandfathers enlisted to protect their wives and daughters. The men of today want to defend, well, shall we say, women more like this. With a grand gesture, I introduced Nemu. We in the entertainment industry have assembled the finest squad of women worth fighting for. I see. If you can't beat them, join them. True to the epitome of this country's military doctrine. Okay. Well, darling, you haven't drunk much. Can I get you something more to your preference? No thank you. I glanced at Nemu. Oi, that wasn't the right answer here. I cleared my throat and gave her a nudge. I confess I am rather weak with alcohol. I see. Can't be helped then. Nemo-chan's here out of Tri Vital. Well, her appeal is self-evident though, is it not? Producer-san, you're simply too much. Of course, we got the talents as well. I pulled down a file of photographs of the girls and spread them out on the table. From the mature lady of the night to the smiling girl next door, Shining Productions can provide faces to make even monks blush. Tanaka pointed to Maria's picture. I like this one. Is she available? Of course. I wouldn't have brought her photo here otherwise. So this is what the young men of this generation are into, eh? I remember the idols of my days. It was truly a different era. Sensing an incoming lengthy digression, I sipped my mug of beer. I laughed and kept nodding as Tanaka spoke at length of the days of his youth. Further ellipses and... yep. White transition. After a night of hard drinking, we left the hostess club thoroughly drunk. Producer-san, tell you what. I feel like I can trust you. The people above me have been really up my ears about meeting this quarter's enlistment quota. Honestly, the things we've been doing in the past aren't enough anymore. We're just not connecting this generation. Why don't you give me some ideas on how to turn this around? Here's my card. I bowed as I exchanged cards with Tanaka. Thank you very much. Shining Productions looks forward to working with you. Likewise. He waved to Nemu. See ya, darling. The pleasure's all mine. With that, Tanaka got into a cab. Well, that turned out well enough. Although it was a certain irregularity. Hey, are you feeling alright? You were unusually subdued tonight. Ara, whatever could you mean, Producer-san? Luckily, it wasn't hard to win over, but let's not sell yourself short here. I brought you here so you can make an impression. That didn't happen. Is that a problem? You seemed pretty taken with Maria. This could have been a pretty big job for you. It's not like you to pass an opportunity up. I could put Maria down for this job, but it would have been better if the sinner was featured instead. Unfortunately, Nemo's not interested. What was this? Insubordination? On a military job? I sighed in exasperation. Look, this is why I said we should keep things professional. It's your job to appeal to men. Let's keep our personal feelings out of this. Does that upset you when other men gawk at me, Producer-san? Why would it? It's my job to make other men gawk at you. It means I must be doing something right. Here I was, working up deals for a day and night, and she was throwing a tantrum at me like some freshly minted teenage idol. Ellipses. I'm sorry, Producer-san. What kind of sorry, though? For not going with what he wanted, or... well, yeah. Or sorry in that you simply won't allow yourself to be swayed that way. Which, yeah. I kind of hesitated because in a way that kind of both of those tie in. It's just the sentiment, or well... yeah, the kind of meaning, the sentiment behind it is a bit different. The context. I sighed and shook my head. You've been under a lot of pressure lately. I understand if you're overworked and want to balance load more with the members. Anyways, I got the deal in the end, so no harm done. Go home, get some rest. Understood. I held a cab for Nemo before heading home myself. Uh-oh. Nemo tossed and turned in her sleep. In her dreams, you heard a voice. Nemo? Nemo? Despite not having ever met the owner of the voice, at least while she was old enough to remember, she knew it was her mother. Her real mother. The mother that was taken from her. Nemo was on the ground. Was low on the ground. Of course she was. She was just a child. She saw her mother's hand in her grasp. What did she look like? Nema looked up. Alright. But what she saw wasn't her mother. It was the arrogant sneer of a woman hell-bent on winning at all costs. Suddenly, the grasp on Nema's hand tightened. She was in pain. You're just, oh. You're just desserts, idle harlot. I don't wanna... Oh god, I can't help it. And then off she was whisked to an isekai somewhere. Okay, so does Nemo actually have some proof that Haruno really did set up Mother's death? Suddenly the screeching of tires. The world spun. His face echoed through her voice. You've let me down, Nemo. For some reason, nobody but her could understand what she wanted. In fact, she couldn't even describe it herself. It's a concept which escaped words. Everything had to go as before, but this time she had to win. Yeah, sorry. Win against the one who took away everything. So is that really what you're doing? Everything has to go as before. You want to hook up with your producer, and then not get killed by your stepmother. What? Okay. She tried to shout her desires to him, but no words left her mouth. She choked and gagged. She tried to explain, but nobody understood her. They thought she was crazy. To an extent, you are, though. Crazy, crazy, crazy. She spoke, but she wasn't her. Okay. I can be everything. Your revenge, your desires. When did this turn into a fucking horror visual novel? Yes. The demon would take care of it. All she needed was to stay here and let it wake up tomorrow in her stead. My mother yet walks this earth. What? Okay, you know, I'm into this here. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and what the fuck?